73,000 jobs. 73,000 jobs created in the month of July. Number just coming out.
And that's total.
4.2% is the unemployment rate, right in line with expectations. Here are the numbers. For the month of July, jobs came in at 73,000. That was lower than the expectation, which called for 110,000 jobs. The unemployment rate right in step with expectations at 4.2%. Steve Moore, your reaction.
Look, I think this is all a result, this disappointing number is a result of all the turmoil over tariffs and the trade wars.
Fox hosts having a meltdown as the atrocious job numbers came in last week. Maria Bartiromo and her obnoxious accent. I'm sorry, she drives me crazy. Anyway, my name is Suri Crowe, and you are watching the MeidasTouch Network. Everything Trump touches dies. Seriously, ETTD. You know, he's the Grim Reaper, that guy who always shows up as the arbiter of death, except for now it's just Trump. He is the Grim Reaper. Here he is with the orange face. The economy, obviously, he literally blew up the Biden economy, which was labeled the envy of the world by The Economist magazine and by historians like Heather Cox Richardson.
Up in 2024 because he promised that the economy was going to be better. The economy under Joe Biden went gangbusters. He had to deal with the pandemic and so on, and the inflation that was all around the world. But the economic growth was extraordinary. Now that's fallen right off. I mean, we don't know that as much anymore because the economic numbers are not as reliable as they used to be. But
he's crashing it.
But on those major downward revisions for June and May, I mean, June was initially said to be 147,000 jobs added, now revised to be just 14,000 jobs added. That amounts to the weakest month of job growth since December of 2020.
He promised Americans lower grocery prices, grocery on day one, but grocery prices remain high and are getting higher, and Americans are feeling the pain. According to a new AP NORC poll, heck, I feel it every time I go to the grocery store. It's crazy work trying to shop without breaking my bank account. And Trump, 6 months into his presidency, continues to blame President Biden for everything. But this is his economy now.
Last week showed us that it's now President Donald Trump's economy. The president has his new tariffs in place. He has his one big beautiful bill with its tax cuts and spending cuts. He has executive actions. He has a slew of policies on artificial intelligence. But the bad news is that we've started to see signs that the economy isn't going necessarily as the president intended. If you look at an inflation measure that came out this week, it came in slightly hotter at 2.6% over the past year. That's up from a 2.2% increase in April. If you look at GDP, sure, GDP recovered in the second quarter of this year, but on the first half of the year, the economy is growing at an annual rate of just 1.3%. That's down from 2.8% in 2024.
Trump has Grim Reapered Americans' healthcare through the passage of the big, ugly ass bill, which cut Medicaid by more than $1 trillion and will kick at least 18 million Americans off Medicaid. And millions more will lose access to the ACA, which is the same thing as Obamacare, as well as premiums to private insurance, because those will skyrocket. Trump kills freedom. We see that as his Gestapo ICE agents are arresting even U.S. citizens off the streets.
Several United States citizens have been detained and held in immigration detention centers since federal agents descended onto Los Angeles' streets in early June. Job Garcia was taken into custody at Home Depot in Hollywood on June 9th and held in federal prison for several hours without charges.
The first thought that came was like, this is probably where George Floyd fell. Like, he had their knee on his neck.
That sounds really scary.
That it was, because I started to feel like there was some sort of interruption in my breathing pattern. And fortunately, they got me up. But yeah, that was a very scary situation.
Are they permitted to do that?
Absolutely not. It represents, in my experience, and I've been doing this a long time, the most serious abuse of power with respect to law enforcement in immigration operations.
He's killed world peace as Putin continues to pound Ukraine. So much for all in that war on day one. And now Trump is ratcheting up risk with the Russians by parking nuclear subs outside the Russian coast. He's killed the planet. The Trump regime has deregulated pretty much every environmental protection mechanisms that Presidents Obama and Biden implemented. So we are already breathing in dirtier air, drinking dirtier water, ingesting more chemical pollutants, plastics, all of the things that cause cancer and disease. Because of course, he killed green energy in a $1 billion bribe with fossil fuel corporations. Speaking of which, he killed the FDA, the CDC. He's killed measles eradication. Oh, and of course, he killed cancer research and funding too. He grim reapered America's reputation and global relationships.
The old relationship we had with the United States, based on deepening integration of our economies and tight security and military cooperations, is over. What exactly the United States does next is unclear. But what is clear is that we, as Canadians, have agency. We have power. We are masters in our own home. Nous sommes maîtres chez nous. We can control our destiny. We can give ourselves much more than any foreign government, including the United States, can ever take away.
Of course, Prime Minister Carney, that's because everything that Trump touches dies. Public education, public broadcasting, consumer protections are dead. The once robust Consumer Protection Agency has been defanged under the Trump regime. Consumer protections like making sure that banks can't charge us exorbitant late fees on credit cards or overdraft fees are all gone now. Medical debt, well, guess what? It's now back on your credit report thanks to Trump and his regime. Social Security has been looted by Republicans to pay for, guess what? Tax breaks for the rich. And that's a fund that is solvent on its own because we all pay in to the Social Security fund, but not anymore because now Republicans are just looting it just to pay for tax breaks for decamillionaires and billionaires. Then there is the White House itself. Trump managed to kill off the once gorgeous Jackie Kennedy Rose Garden. As these tweets note, Republicans against Trump, my God, this is the White House Rose Garden after Trump's, quote, overhaul. Stripped, paved, lifeless. Everything Trump touches dies. And you can see the hideous difference there. Once full of life, the White House Rose Garden, now it looks like a freaking cemetery. And then this next one, the Four Seasons Total Landscaping Company. There's an inside joke there if you know it. Here at Four Seasons, we held a 2-minute silence today in memory of the Rose Garden. The man has no class. Oh, and he's going to kill the actual White House itself.
That the construction of the new White House ballroom will begin. For 150 years, presidents, administrations, and White House staff have longed for a large event space on the White House complex that can hold substantially more guests than currently allowed. President Trump has expressed his commitment to solving this problem on behalf of future administrations and the American people. The White House is one of the most beautiful and historic buildings in the world. Yet the White House is currently unable to host major functions, honoring world leaders in other countries without having to install a large and unsightly tent approximately 100 yards away from the main building's entrance. The White House State Ballroom will be a much-needed and exquisite addition of approximately 90,000 total square feet of innately designed and carefully crafted space with a seated capacity of 650 people, which is a significant increase from the 200-person seated capacity in the East Room of the White House.
To be clear, no one has longed for this. Nobody is asking for a gaudy, hideous, ugly, gauche ballroom. The White House has done just fine hosting dinners for world leaders over the decades. They've done just fine seating people in the East Wing with a nice, beautiful tent on the lawn of the White House. We didn't ask for two ugly ass flagpoles there. And now Trump is this monstrosity that Trump is ginning up is going to be larger than the White House itself. Like, it's going to be this hideous appendage. Look at this. Look at this thing. It's going to be larger than the White House building itself. How gross is that? And $200 million paid for alleged patriotic donors, or that's what he's claiming. Something just doesn't smell right here. This woman says it actually smells a lot like a money laundering scheme.
So I want to talk about the $200 million renovation that Trump is doing to the ballroom at the White House, because I know a lot about that. I just finished construction on a venue in Atlanta, and the capacity of that venue is about 2,500, 1,500 seated. So it's bigger. It's bigger than the ballroom he's talking about. We did that construction, that renovation. I mean, we gutted it completely, and did a full reno for a venue. And, we did it for about just under 1.5 million. $200 million is insane. That's not how much that costs to do. I don't care what he's doing to it. It doesn't cost $200 million. So I'm here to tell you it's a money laundering scheme. That's what's happening. It's a money laundering scheme. That renovation doesn't cost $200 million. And that's why he's not using taxpayer dollars for it. He's paying for it. And other, I think he said patriotic donors. That's who's paying $200 million for a renovation that will not cost $200 million. So put it on the list of shit he's doing to rip us all off. That's definitely illegal.
$200 million does seem insanely high for something that none of us asked for. What we would like is a safe environment. We would like healthcare coverage for all. We would like public education. We don't want a disgusting Mar-a-Lago, gross, gauche, like Putin-esque ballroom. Lastly, but certainly not least, Donald Trump kills the truth.
History of our country. And don't let some of these politicians go around saying, because I'm telling you, these countries are calling us up, kissing my ass. They are dying to make a deal. Please, sir, make a deal. I'll do anything, sir. And then I'll see some rebel Republican, some guy that wants to grandstand, say, I think that Congress should take over negotiations. Let me tell you, you don't negotiate like I negotiate.
Oh, yes. Another sir story. Please, sir, anything, sir. We just want to make a deal, sir. That's like laughable. So far, there is exactly one official deal that has been inked and signed, and that is with the United Kingdom. So much for 90 deals in 90 days. It's like laughable if it wasn't so pathetic. Like I said, everything that Trump and the Republicans touch dies. Most of all, our constitutional rights and our democracy, dead and or in the process of dying. Well, at least you're hearing the unvarnished truth here at the MeidasTouch Network. The mainstream press is a mess. They're just sane-washing all of the bullshit that comes out of the White House and out of this fascist regime. So it's really important to support independent journalism. I'm independent, so please come follow me on my socials and join me on my brand new Substack channel for more conversations on the honest truth and how we fight back and rescue our democracy. All right. Peace and fierceness to you.
Love this video? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch and help us blow past 1 million followers.